Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. And good evening, all points in between and outside. Welcome to the June 1st edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I am your host and administrator and head cook, Mr. Mike Walker. And it's just you and us tonight. You and I tonight. Gave the panel a well-deserved rest. And I hope you all had a great and wonderful and prosperous Memorial Day weekend. And especially considering that we've been locked up in quarantine from this pandemic. Hope everybody had a good time, but also I hope everyone used wisdom while you were having a good time. So, and not only that, hope you had a great day today, and if anything wrong, occurred with you, then we just pray that things get better. Okay. And we got some more people coming in. Hi, D Giles. Hey, Tawanda, with your singing self. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? Yes. Hey, Lady Ty Smith. Hey, AB. Yeah, it's Rhonda. Glad to have you back, Rhonda. Sure enough, glad to have you back. Kimberly Best, glad to have you here. Hey, Tamara. Hey, thank you for your help earlier today. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Adrian, thank you so much. Mr. Michael Jones, McKeever, how you doing? Hey, Leslie, how you doing? Wow, everybody's coming in. Jay Monet's Watson. I hope I didn't butcher up your name, but glad to have you here. Hey, Stacy. I think I missed you last week. I'm so glad you're here, though. Yeah, you are welcome. And hey, Joy, how you doing? And Bobby Marie. I looked at part of that video. I'm going to look at it some more, okay? Then we might talk about that, okay? Well, let's get down to business, shall we? As you know, we're talking about hopefully 3 topics today. And the first one today is, why are we so angry with each other? Why are we so angry with each other? As you know, in the group, you're always going to have a difference of opinion between the brothers and the sisters. That's probably since day one of this life on planet Earth. But as of late, we really clawing at each other. We are clawing at each other like cats and dogs. If we're not fussing about sex, we're fussing about who should ask who first out, or who should propose to who, or what have you, though. So I don't know where all this coming from. Where did all this anger between man and a woman start? Hopefully you, SBC and SBCC, and anyone else that's watching can help us out with this. I don't know. We've been clawing at each other. And, yous always like to say that there's some hurt women out there that making other men pay for what a man did to them in the past. But guess what, though? We got some fellas out there with chips on their shoulders. And I mean, I don't know what it is. Why do that happen? They fight, they insult people. And not only that, you see, I'm going to say this. You see people of certain body types act that way. Oh, you know what? Let me answer this. Tamara, well, I would say it's a covert aggression, but I think people was acting like that long before the pandemic, though. They were just so bitter and so everything. And D. Giles say, I think the anger comes from people in general hurting. And that is a good point right there. And Michael Jones, yes, we are just as hurt for real, for real. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you see certain people, like say someone is short statured, especially a male. Especially a male. I think males are real self-conscious about, I think we are self-conscious about our height. I consider myself a tall guy, I guess. But a shorter guy, oh man, it just seems like it's a big chip on their shoulder. And they just lashing out at females who haven't bothered them. That's right, D. Giles. Napoleon complex. And this probably is a Napoleon complex. And being reactionary, offended. Okay, VL. Oh, y'all coming in too. And again, they have a Napoleon complex and past hurt that hasn't been addressed. I mean, I'm going to get back to that, Wanda. And some are bitter that they are unaware that they are hurting others. Well, you know what, Tawanda, I'm glad you said that. You know the old saying, hurt people hurt people. Okay? Hurt people hurt people. And past hurts hasn't been addressed. And Wanda, you may be on to something. There are some things in the past that they haven't moved past, or they haven't dealt with it in a proper way, or maybe the situation has been rectified. Maybe the people, the person or persons that have offended them never begged their pardon, never apologized. It's one thing if somebody hurt you in the past and they apologize to you later on, but it's another thing when they hurt you and they just move on like, hey, nothing's has happened. That'll make me mad and bitter and angry. That's right. Yeah. And Jamones, and please let me know if I'm butchering your name. And I do apologize if I am. I think anger comes from hurt as early as childhood. And you know what? You have to look at the makeup of childhoods. Sometimes you have a 2-parent home, but things weren't peaceful. You had a 1-parent home, things weren't peaceful. You were in situations. You might have got picked at in school or in early work jobs. You weren't a popular person. And as you got older and you grew up, you had that focus, that anger at someone. That's a good one right there. Well, they coming in. Thank y'all so much for these comments. Michael Jones says, I am 4'11" /5 even, and I strongly agree with the chip on my shoulders. LOL. Well, you know what, Michael Jones? I can sort of relate with you because I joke kind of sort of that I am an economy size guy. Translation, I'm fat. Okay. And it used to be a time I used to have a hang up about that. I said, oh, y'all like those muscle dudes, but y'all wouldn't give a dude like me a chance. And and I used to be bitter about it. I mean, mean as a rattlesnake about it. I bet some of y'all saying, but you're still mean. But anyway, and I used to be bitter until in my early to mid 20s, I realized that, hey, while the muscle guys are still popular, and those are that are in shape and that are fit, but hey, there were sisters out there that like teddy bears, such as myself. So that kind of eased down a bit, though, and I had to understand and respect the fact that women and everyone has a right to like who they like. So I can understand that. Definitely. And Liz has said, people are grieving, heartbroken, frustrated, and all. Folks are not dealing with their emotions. And you know what, Leslie? To an extent, I do agree with that. I mean, I say to an extent because you still had people acting a clown prior to this pandemic. But last year, these past 365, 60, whatever plus days and counting has been tough. People have lost family members. They themselves been sick. And those that survived COVID, well, their bodies are pretty much scarred up, muscle weakness, breathing problems, and that'll cause a lot of bitterness. Plus, add to the fact that you're separated from your family and your friends. You can't go places like you used to, have outings. I can understand that. Last week was my first time in over a year, having family time with my people. So I can understand that. You being mean and frustrated. But then again, some people came into this world mean, though. Then again, there are some issues, though. Tamara, seriously, narcissistic personality disorder is a culprit as well. A narc, and we're not talking about the government agent either. A narc will say whatever they believe will hurt you without regard. In my younger days, Tamara, Tamara, don't punch me. I used to be that way. I was mad at the world, so I felt like if I'm hurting, someone else need to be hurt. Sad but true. Tawanda says, once you recognize your hurt, you work on your own issues and to do better and be aware of what you say to others without hurting them. And you know what? And that's true because sometimes you can inadvertently say things you didn't mean to hurt them, but it happens. So I understand that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. I understand, Liz. Definitely. And Travis Evans says, unresolved issues can sometimes blind us. Man, definitely. Definitely. And Latasha D. Smith says, I like them cornbread Fred. I can't even talk. I like them cornbread fed. Duly noted, Sister Smith. Duly noted. And y'all coming in, thank you for these comments. Being alone has brought up things we thought were dead in our lives. And never thought about it that way. So, could being alone for so long can jumpstart old painful memories? Interesting. VL says, learned how to express our emotions by screaming as an infant. Really? Well, you know what, VL? I don't remember that far back, to be honest with you. I really don't. Andrea Jenkins says, sometimes being single can bring about frustration and anger. And you know what? And I think it spreads into the group. It's definitely. We already out the gate mad and frustrated that we're not out on a date. We don't have that certain somebody. And when we do, they cheat on us or mistreat us. Then we come into the group. I hate to say it though, we fight and fuss. Yes, we have good ideas, but then somebody post those magic postings, who should approach who first. Now, how in the world can you get a fight, a Pier 6 brawl out of somebody asking who should approach who first? Instead of that should be a fun topic. But no, we all angry. Well, it's isn't ladylike to approach. Well, I'm not gonna do this or that, or men having their situations. I don't know. We all fight with each other. Rhonda says, only if you haven't gotten over what happened. And that's true. That is true. Latasha Smith, this time has gave me the time I need to reflect on what's important inside and out. What I learned is take less time on the outside and pay attention to what's coming in and out of the inside. I'm thankful for this time of reflection and peace. God is good. And some people have used this downtime for introspection and just to learn what's going on. But at the same token, some people didn't recognize this as a good time. Some people just use this time for anger. I don't know. It's bad, but how do we treat this anger? How do you treat this person with the anger issues? Tamara, because insults start being hurled at those who think differently. Absolutely. Nobody appreciates being referred to as desperate or thirsty. And you know what? That's it right there. But I have to ask this question. I want to go too far off the topic though, but what is so desperate and thirsty about approaching someone? But I can understand in the insult start with that topic, it's just a hot potato. Not only in this group, but probably any group, any message board, any forum, any talk show, any radio. That's a hot potato right there. So how are we going to go into these singles groups angry at each other? How are we going to make connections when we're clawing at each other, scratching our eyes out and everything? We're here to be connected, to find new friends though. But we can't do that, cussing each other out. Excuse me. Tamara says nothing is wrong. My thirst has been quenched. I heard that. I don't want to know what the thirst quencher is. This is a family show, but I don't know people. And I mean, if anybody out there has an answer to that, please help us. As I don't know. I don't know the answer. And long as I have been running these groups, well, you know what? This has happened as of late. Folks been going real crazy as of late, though. Let's do better. Let's do better. And let's not take our anger out on each other, especially now. From this point on, let's talk, let's listen as twice as we talk, because we miss things doing that. Travis says we must first work on ourselves before we are ready to be with someone else. Yep. You can't be damaged goods then, because then you bring that relationship down. Past hurts and past everything. Well, the bottom line is this. We as a people, and not only brothers and sisters, but, brothers and sisters in Christ, and we're going to try to call ourselves in Christian groups, try to be with each other. We got to do better. Old saying, when we know better, we do better. And let me get this. Let me get this quick. This is a comment right here. And this girl has seen things were done to hurt my feelings. I don't know if I want to put that up there, but anyway, or work on ourselves while communicating with other people. Okay, absolutely. So the next topic, and I think it's kind of a good segue, kind of go hand in hand with each other. Extending grace and mercy. Extending grace and mercy. How did I come up with this topic for tonight? As you know, we had an incident in the group in SBCC where somebody used some Sunday school words toward me. And of course, I put the person on blast. And some people had problem with it. Some people didn't. So is life. And one commenter said that grace should have been extended. Grace and mercy should have been extended. And I don't know if I thought about it. I don't know if I agree with that. Sometimes extreme actions have to be taken. That's how I feel about things, though. But at what point do you extend grace and mercy? And I don't know. And I think people are still split with my actions from this past Sunday, though. Or maybe a majority didn't like what I did, though. Again, that's how things go. But let me ask y'all this. How do you extend grace and mercy? When do you do it? If someone did you wrong, like somebody cheated on you, or someone stole money from you, and you had a chance to press charges. Would you go and do it? How do you handle that? Or someone hurt a family member, or someone hurt you. How do you extend grace and mercy? Do you do it? Extending grace and mercy is not an easy thing. And I think we're looking at forgiveness. Forgiveness does not means, well, for me in my book, and this is how I feel about it. Forgiveness does not necessarily equate to reconciliation. Okay, that's just me. I have been hurt, done wrong, and what have you, but eventually I forgive the person. I forgive them and say, hey, I forgive you. But if I realize that, if it comes to the point I realize that this is a toxic relationship, then guess what? I think we need to part company. I forgive you, and I forgive you, but I don't forget, and I'm going to address that in a moment. Rhonda says, I'll do it when I feel led to. Interesting. Okay, and you're talking about extending grace and mercy, I'm assuming. Okay, that's pretty good. But we're talking about and forgetting. So let me ask you this. If you forget someone, thank you, Rhonda, for answering that question. Thank you so much. If we forgive someone, if we say we forgive someone, are we wrong for not forgetting? Are we wrong for not forgetting those things? How easy is it for us to forget a wrong that is done to us? Leslie says we are to always forgive everyone, but forgiveness doesn't mean we have to still be in relationship with that person. I agree. It's case by case. Boy, forgiveness is for us, not them. Absolutely. We shouldn't want to live with those toxic emotions in our spirit. D. Giles, too toxic any types on a relationship. And let me see. Yeah, thank you for these comments. Wanda says, I may give you grace and mercy, but it doesn't mean that you are still in my circle. You know what? Let me put a pin right there, Wanda. Some people don't understand that. And I agree with you. I'm going to say this up front. I preface this and I quantify this. I agree with you. Again, I spoke, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I believe it was 2 weeks ago, about how someone kept wronging me. And I just got to the point. I said, listen, this is it. We're no longer friends. Okay. And I was tired of the toxic relationship. So yes, I gave them grace and mercy, but that was it. No more. So, but people think you're wrong for ending friendships. So I'm glad you said that, Wanda. Tamara says, I don't always extend grace and mercy for serious offenses. You steal from me, you going to jail. You call me out my name, I'm done. I can forgive. However, I won't forget. Yeah. And I don't think, with me stealing, I say it just like this. It depends on what's stolen from me. Really depends on what stolen from me. Like if you stole some food or something like that, well, I don't know. Maybe I will extend grace and mercy and fix you a meal or do something. Because if you're hungry, then I'll help you. If you stole some money from me, it just depends on how much money it is we're talking about. But if you steal things like my phone or my computer, then we're going to have some problems. Or my wallet, we're going to have some serious problems. Teresa Jones says, that is an area I need to work on. Cheaters don't get in it. I may be wrong. Yeah, okay. And Tamara, I knew you were saying steal. I know, I understand autocorrect and everything else. So I definitely understand. But and I asked the audience this. Are there certain offenses that are easier for you to I guess extend grace and mercy as opposed to others? Just like I said, stealing certain things as opposed to slapping me, then that's two big old parallels right there. Travis Evans says grace and mercy is sometimes leaving the situation. If it is harmful to ourselves. And you know what? You're extending grace and mercy to the both of y'all. I can understand that. I can definitely understand that, Travis. DJ says, nope, forgiveness allows you to move forward. Kimberly Beth says, no, it's not wrong. We don't have to forget. We should remember so we learn from it. Absolutely. And you know what? I was taught that forgiving doesn't necessarily mean forgetting, but forgiveness means that we ought to get to the point that if it comes to our mind, back to our remembrance, it doesn't affect us as it did when the offense happened. I hope I didn't butcher that up, though. So I could definitely understand that. Tawanda says, you are not wrong to forgive and not forget. As long as there's no animosity within, you don't have to allow them to be a part of your life. If they're toxic for you, forgive them and move on. Andrea, we are to forgive, but we shouldn't forget so that we don't fall into a pattern that allows us to keep getting hurt. Bobby Marie says, extending grace. Mercy does not absolve correction. Let me read that again. Extending grace and mercy does not absolve correction. Sometimes correction is verbal, and sometimes it is an action disconnection. And I agree with you, Bobby. In other words, I hate to say it like this, but sometimes people have to be taught a lesson. And I'm not saying it in a mean, unmerciful way, but sometimes, because I believe if you let them get away with, say, stealing your computer, to me, in my humble opinion, that's enabling. You telling them, well, that's all right. You excusing bad behavior. That's in my humble opinion right there. Wanda says we are not Jesus and can't turn off that memory so easily. I agree. However, we can work to not let it hinder our peace. And D. Giles says you can forgive, but you don't have to tolerate anyone's behavior or mistreating you. And you know what? And that was the case right there of me ending that friendship. I can only go so far. Like Popeye the Sailor Man once said, the great theologian, that's all I can stands and I can't stands no more. So that was the case at that point right there. So yeah, Travis says if we don't pay attention to life's lesson, we're doomed to repeat them. Absolutely. And sometimes people say you don't, you learn from your mistakes. And I've heard people argue this. Some people disagree that some people still don't learn from their mistakes. They keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So that's probably another debate right there. Jenna says you can forgive depending on the situation. But if you give people the benefit of the doubt and they still cross you, then ellipses, I'm sorry, but forgiveness is off the table. Well, now, okay, Jenna. Okay, Jenna. We have to forgive. Our Lord Jesus said that we have to forgive. If we don't forgive, our Father in heaven won't forgive us. So you have to forgive. Now, if you don't want to reconcile with them, if you don't want to continue being in relationship with them, that's understandable. I can understand that, but we have to forgive. We have to forgive. It's some people, I wish I could, whatever. But guess what? I forgive them because the Lord requires that of us. And if we want forgiveness, then we ourselves first have to forgive. So just remember that, okay? And Wanda says, yes, forgiveness is for us, not them. Absolutely. We have to let go of this. It's not easy. Oh, it's not easy. That person cheated on you. That person stole from you. That person lied on you, especially liars, people lying on you. And and I'm going to say this is a little side note. Liars really turn my stomach. Okay. They make me itch. And this old saying that about liars is if a person will lie, they will steal. And if a person will steal, they will kill. So I don't know. I just kind of stay away from them. So that was for free, y'all. Travis Evans says we can forgive, but don't be a doormat for them. And you know what? Some people believe, and some people been taught that don't part company with them. Forgive them and try to reconcile with them. No, 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 no. If you know it's toxic, then you got to take care of yourself. Yes, D. Giles, lie, steal, cheat, and kill. Right here. Rhonda says, forgive, but don't forget. Now, when it comes to moving on as far as dating or starting a relationship, I believe if you can't say that person's name or mention what they did to you without getting angry or feeling some type of way, then you need more time with God. Well, maybe so, but sometimes it's just not that easy. When people really do you wrong, especially when it comes to the matters of the heart, yeah, it's tough. It's not easy. But spending time with God and his word, that is a strong start right there. Erica Joyce says, I think God is trying to tell me something. Lord knows I have a lot of resentment and hurt in my heart. God is working on me. Erica, so do I. So do I. You are not alone. I have to pray. I have to pray. Pray that I don't overreact. So I definitely understand. Thank y'all for these comments. If you forgive people who deeply hurt you and they don't accept your forgiveness, you don't have to convince them that you forgave them. You know that you forgave them and you move forward with your life. Okay. Tamara, please, what did you not forgive? Help me out here. Okay. Jennifer Williams says, someone once told me that walking around harboring unforgiveness is like you're drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I've heard that before myself. Forgive. It takes a toll on your mental and physical health. It is not easy, but it's necessary. Yes. Family, friends, or past lovers. We are mostly driven people. Okay. Yes. Yes, we are. Forgiveness is you letting go so you can move on. You can't grow and be your best self by staying stuck. Don't look back. Yes, Stacey, glad to have you here tonight. But yes, and you have to move on. You have to move on. So wait a minute. Here she go. Tamara, is the person saying if you haven't forgotten, you need to spend time with God? Okay. Yeah, I think personally, we probably could talk about this in the after party. I think it could be I'm trying to choose my words wisely. It's more to it than that, or you have to do more than that. Not saying God isn't enough. So definitely, I'm gonna clear that up right away. But I don't know. It just takes some work. Yeah. So I agree with you. Forgiveness frees us from the chains of bitterness. Yes. It's a process, though. It is a process. Believe me, it's a process and a half, though. It's when you're dealing with hurt, and let's go back to the first topic about the anger. When you're dealing with anger from situations that's happened, shucks, a quarter of a century ago, well, shucks, you definitely need some help. I understand that. Mark Blair, glad to have you here. Forgiveness is not easy, but it's necessary. Trust God to guide you through the process. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Please don't be a stranger. Um, and so, bottom line is this: extend grace and mercy, but use wisdom. If it's something, what's the best way of saying it? If it's something that you have to put in the hands of the local authorities or someone else like a pastor or supervisor, then do it. And if it's something that just not that too big of a deal, maybe not a big deal to you, then just handle it the way you feel led to. Whatever the Lord puts on your heart, you do it. Let me read these two last comments, then we're going to move to our last topic for the night. As long as you've done your best to be right by others, and only a fool will continue to be mistreated. If not, you're as toxic as the person who is continually disappointing and hurting you. That's interesting. Joyce Scott says, forgiving and not forgetting allows us to guard our hearts because we're aware, but not forgiving allows us to build up walls, which is unhealthy and keeps good opportunities and people out. Mm, mm. That is something right there. Thank you, George Scott. Yeah. Please forgive, y'all. And our last topic, and this should be a humdinger right here. Since we've been cooking and on the grill this weekend, these past 3 to 4 days, and Papa eating leftovers though. So here you go, right here. This has been a debate. Real plates versus paper plates. Yep. People has fallen out over that though, right there. So SBC, the SBC family, SBCC, and everyone else that may be watching, how do you feel? Now we know paper plates or foam plates or whatever type of non-crockery eatware is acceptable at things like cookouts and things like that. We get that. But how do you feel about eating out of paper plates? And we're using that term generically because all of it isn't paper. But how do you feel about eating out of paper plates on a regular basis? They already coming in. Hold up. Teresa Jones says real plates. Okay. AB says paper plates with family. Okay. Joy Scott says paper. So Joy, are you all right with paper plates on a regular basis or what have you? Help us. Real plates with guests. Okay. Tamara says it doesn't matter to me. And I'm that way myself. It doesn't matter to me. Long as the food is good. Yeah. Doy, I'm with you on that. Paper, especially if they're on sale. I'm absolutely with you on that. D. Giles, paper plates for cookouts, but home, I want a dish unless it's something quick. So D. Giles, let me ask you this question. Suppose I invited you over and I fix your favorite dish. I mean, it's smelling good and everything. You hungry. No, you hungry. HOONGRY. Hungry. And it smells good and everything. And I hand you a paper plate and a solo cup. Would you be offended? Okay. Yeah, I ate off a paper plate tonight and I'm not, she didn't say ashamed. I'm not shamed. I don't blame you. I'm with you. I'm with you though. Travis said it saves me from washing dishes. And you know what? That's the part I don't understand though. I think it's more convenient though. You don't have to wash dishes. Yeah, you still may have to wash cooking utensils and things like that and still do some kitchen cleaning. But dang, just throw away the fork and the plastic utensils and the plates and you're done with it. That's just the way I look at it. Rhonda says paper plates. I'm kind of with you on that myself, though. And Andrea Jenkins says, I don't mind either way. No preference. Okay. Y'all coming in, too. I don't like that. Jenna says, real plates when I feel like washing dishes. Paper plates when I don't feel like washing dishes. Problem solved. And you know what? And some people are like that. Tan Wiley, glad to have you here. Paper. Yes, I'm kind of like that. So please don't be a stranger, Tan. Please. Wanda, I live by myself and I eat out of paper plates every day. I ain't trying to wash all those dishes. I don't care. Thank you, Wanda. I feel that. Well, I'm not trying to influence y'all though, but that's just how I feel as well. Well, as long as it's not cheap plates though, you don't want any. I don't know. You want something sturdy. Tawanda says, paper plates when I don't feel like having a lot of dishes to wash. Food is good and I don't have issues using them during the summer and the holidays. Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. We got some more. Hold up. Stacy says, me too. D. Giles, yeah, you answered my question. I would ask politely if I could have a plate. offer to wash the other dishes. Okay. Okay. Understood. Understood. However, the paper plate has to be strong and sturdy. Yep, I agree. I agree. Back in the 70s, they used to advertise Chinette. And I'm really telling my age saying this. Chinette paper plates. And they compared them to regular paper plates and saying how sturdy they were. So yeah, you want some good paper plates. Chinette. That's what I remember though. Yeah. Jennifer Williams says no preference. Joy Scott says I switch between paper and real plates. When I know I'm going to have a lot of things to do for a week or longer, I will use paper so I don't have an extra dish to wash. Make life easier for myself. And I use dispensable utensils as well. I keep some nearby. Sherry says, me too. Amen. This is interesting. Latasha says, save the planet. Wash the dishes. Now that's an interesting take on it. So she's an environmentalist. Save the planet. Save on paper. Save on plastic. Well, reduce usage of plastic rather. Okay, understood. Teresa, if it's a big cookout, then paper. But I like serving people in my home with real plates. If I invite you for dinner, then it's going to be real plates. Okay. Rochelle Nanette, glad to have you here tonight. I'll eat off of paper plates, but I won't serve someone on paper plates. And you know what? I might be like that for myself, or if I had a wife and we're just here together, she and I can eat off paper plates. I have no problem with that. And I think we talked about this a month or so ago about how we treat guests. I'm going to serve the finest crockery and silverware to my guests. So yes, we will be fancy. Yeah. Unless it's somebody I know off the street, then, yeah. Joy says, hey, the Lord gave someone a genius idea to make paper plates. Why let such a contribution to society go to waste? Okay. Wanda says there are some strong, nice paper plates out there. Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right. And right. And Andre, I can hear that in your voice. Okay. Joyce said, I'm not cool with styrofoam, though. Makes too much noise and not good for the environment. Not only that, Joy, is bad in the microwave. And it's really bad in the microwave. And if you put freshly cooked bacon in that foam, it'll burn a hole in it. So, yeah, fresh hamburger meat or fresh fish, yeah, it'll burn a hole in it. So I'm not too wild about foam, though. Recycle and recycle. Yep. Yeah. Okay. We getting some. We winding up, folks. Okay. How are you going to cut a ribeye on paper plates? Very carefully, my dear. Very carefully. Yeah, if I have guests in real plates. Okay. To Quincy, glad to have you here. If it's a sit-down dinner, we use real plates, but if it's an eat at your own leisure, it's paper. Okay, I'm going to remember that when I come to your town for dinner. Okay, DeQuincy? Okay, it's a skill, but it can happen, definitely. I've been known to put a paper plate on top of a regular. You know what? That's interesting, though. It's kind of interesting, but at the same token, kind of defeat the purpose because still, you're going to still have to wash that plate. At least I hope, I might as well just use the plate though. Okay. It's easy for a single person to wash the dish and utensils. If I'm cooking a meal, since the pots have to be clean. Okay. Okay. Y'all coming in here pretty good though. Okay. Styrofoam. Styrofoam melts in your food, when it's hot or cold. So no the styrofoam. Yep, exactly. You have to be careful with this. Yes, me too. Okay, we getting there. Yes, seeing that hole in that styrofoam makes me wonder if the styrofoam got into food. I still eat it though. Yep, I understand that. That's why I don't too much. So the bottom line is this. May not be the bottom line because y'all might still comment. I like paper plates, and I don't know if you can tell by this picture in the graphic. I like that sturdy. That look like a nice sturdy paper plate right there. So that's the type I like right there. But also, let me ask you this, though. You got to look at cost, though. Which one is cheaper, to wash the dishes or buying some good quality paper plates, good quality eatware? So I don't know. Is it cheaper to get some dishwashing liquid and use the water and just wash it and dry it? Or if you have a washing machine, a dishwashing machine rather, which one is cheaper? Which one is cheaper? I wonder about that though. Read these last couple of comments. There can be an arguments about saving water. It's easy to use a lot of water. Absolutely. And again, you're using water. You're using this. Wash the dishes. So, wow. So I guess the bottom line is some of us like to wash and some of us don't. So, and if you're cooking and single, yes, it's cheaper. Okay, folks. Okay. Oh, now here it comes now. It's cheaper to wash the dishes. Okay. It is. Well, folks, guess what? Guess what it is? Time to go home. Yes, we are out of time. I truly enjoyed this and truly enjoyed y'all feedback and just in your participation and your input. And y'all make these shows wonderful. Y'all make these shows outstanding. So we will now have our announcements. If I could find my announcements. Yeah. We're going to have our announcements. Okay. And join us for the after party. It'll be a Zoom link. And join us. And we have a great time. So, and I think the party will begin maybe about 15 minutes after. So make sure you come in and join us. We have a great time, okay? And then after that, guess what? This Saturday, yes, we will have Making the Connection. So we have a good time on Making a Connection. So come and join us, okay? It'll be me and Shannon and our contestants. And then it starts all over next Tuesday with Tuesday Talk. We'll have another interesting conversation with each other. So make sure you tune in and you join us, okay? And until then, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Until next week, we'll see you again. You take care. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. And God bless.
Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. You know, a lot of my brothers are dead and gone. But they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you, 'cause you're doing fine. And as time passes by, I see you're not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. The street life used to be on, straight up hustling till the break of dawn. Taught me how to do wrong right. Everything is tight. But somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game. You couldn't see what I saw. The empire was starting to fall. And everything that I said never seemed to get into your head. I tried to do